Hello friends, my name is Mukesh Baitanna. As we have seen the last essay, now essay number 5, the Diwali festival. Diwali is the festival of lights and illuminations. It comes in the month of October or November. Sometime it comes in the October, sometime it comes in the November. Illumination, festival of light, enthusiasm. When the winter season sets in, people whitewash their houses and shops. In northern India, people begin to sleep inside. They take out their quilts and blankets. The coldness prevails everywhere. This is the starting of the winter season, and they take out their quilts, cloths, blanket to save themselves from the cold. The farmer begin to sow wheat, cotton and sugarcane. The rosy winter is thus in start. People get new woolen cloths prepared. Woolen garments are much in demand, higher in demand, as you know, woolen cloth, because starting of the winter season. The bazaars are crowded with customers. Many customers, as you know, come to purchase the things. People make heavy purchase in order to celebrate the festival of Diwali. Sweet meat shops are gaily decorated. Particularly, people eat sweets, and that is why sweet shops are decorated in a proper way. As we have seen, there is a heavy rush. This great rush is to the festive atmosphere. The great rush is due to the festive atmosphere. Atmosphere good. The shops dealing in fruits and fireworks are visited by poor and rich alike. All persons visit this. Toy shops and cracker shops have their own attraction, particularly higher selling of crackers and toy shop. Children come to that for it is their domain, means area, domain means to see this. They buy all types of toys and crackers. According to their needs, according to their demand, they purchase toys and crackers. The shopkeeper have a roaring business. Shopkeeper have a higher business. Roaring means many customers purchasing the things in a higher quantity, so naturally higher demand. On the actual day of the festive, the rush of people from far and near is too heavy. A sea of people invade the city. As you know, many people come to the city. There is no elbow room to move in the bazaars, no slight place we find. The night comes, it's welcome with crackers and fireworks. They are freely let off, enjoying firecrackers. They explode in the air. The atmosphere is full of festivity. Higher, a lot of rejoicings goes on long into the night. Candles and bulbs are lighted to dispel darkness at night. Higher lighting arrangement done. A day its brilliance can be seen in every nook corner of the town. Everywhere you see, then you observe this particular place. Sweets, fruits and biscuits are distributed. Gifts are sent to friends and relatives. Houses are decorated and rangolis are drawn in courtyards. Paper lanterns and diyas are put up in one of the houses. Everyone is happy and gay. Children are enjoys. They are quite unmindful of worries and misery of the world. The crack jokes and make merry. people welcome Goddess Lakshmi. Devotion songs are sung in many houses. People worship this, and higher celebration is being done, takes place with full fervor and devotion. But some people indulge in drinking and gambling. They are the cause of ruin of many happy homes and families. The main ruins and happy families are there. We must celebrate this great festival in a righteous spirit. After all, Diwali is our greatest and the most sacred festival. It is main and most sacred festival. It has higher importance. Now number 6, Mother Teresa. Today the great mother is not among us. She has left for heavenly abode, but her sacred halo and divine influence will remain in the world forever. Today the great mother is not among us. She has left us for heavenly, but her work influence will remain in the world. Her kindness and compassion are the cherished gems which the grateful humanity will not ever forget. Remember this. Mother Teresa was born in Yugoslavia in 1910. She was not born in India, born in Yugoslavia in the year 1910. Right from her childhood, she was very sympathetic, kind and innocent. Sympathetic, kind and innocent. She became a nun and founded the missionaries of charity. She became a nun. Nun, that you know. Person, then it becomes saint. Ladies, then it calling nun. She began her work in the slums of Calcutta. A band of devoted missionary nuns was there to help her in her stupendous work. Many nuns joined with her to do this type of remarkable work, noteworthy work, and the great work. The Holy Virgin Mother Teresa was noble soul of recent time. She came to India at a very young, tender age. Quite early in life, she vowed to serve the humanity till the last breath of her life. Till the last breath of her life, she was fully devoted to selfless service. She was higher devoted to selfless service. Her great work included the helping and rearing of hopeless and helpless, poor, unwanted children. She was a goddess to such deserted children who does not take the help she took care as like a mother. She also helped those who were handicapped. Lepers too drew her attention and sympathetic service. It shows good service, sympathetic service. Her work was the work of great charity and nobility. Selflessness was the guiding spirit behind it, and soon she won worldwide acclaim, higher demand, higher reparations. Lepers too drew her attention to sympathetic service. Her work was a work of great charity and nobility. Higher work is there. Selflessness was the guiding spirit behind it, not any selfish purpose. Selfless, not keeping any hope. She did that work. Soon she earned worldwide acclaim, name and fame. In this world where agonies and suffering reign supreme, the balmy touch of Mother Teresa was soothing and encouraging experience. When people who suffer, children who suffer a lot, and she took the shelter in this particular place, Mother Teresa's touching encouraged this particular child. She was a great ray of hope for all those who had none else to look after them, who did not have any person. She worked hard. Her great work was in itself a great reward. In recognition of her humanitarian work, Mother Teresa was awarded the Nobel Prize for Peace. She got Nobel Prize for Peace also. She was also awarded the Bharat Ratna, India's highest civilian award. Nobel Prize also she got, and Bharat Ratna also she got. Today the children for whom she was a great shelter utterly feel orphaned, who lost his parents. Naturally she took care of them. We hope that Sister Nirmala, who has succeeded her, will complete all the unfinished tasks for the illustrious mother. Then, as you know, Sister Nirmala, who has succeeded her, next she took this charge, will complete all the unfinished tasks of illustrious mother. That means higher place of Mother Teresa, who worked very hard to provide help to the children and showing this type of work. Trees, our best friend. Trees have been constant friend of man and other animals since their existence on the earth. Being the most intelligent of animal has been taking the maximum advantages of trees. That is constant friend of man and other animals since the existence of the earth. Man, being the most intelligent of animals, has been taking the maximum advantage of trees. That you know. Trees furnish all our basic needs: bread, clothing and shelter. All our food comes directly or indirectly from trees. As you know, food grains, cereals, vegetables and fruits are supplied by trees. Even non-vegetarian food comes indirectly from trees because animals live on grass and the parts of trees, as you know. So directly or indirectly you see, you observe, then you realize that it has higher importance of trees. Beside food, trees provide important raw materials such as wood, cotton, jute, wood pulp to make paper, rubber and turpentine for our industries. Industries provide employment to people. We also get many valuable medicines from trees and tree product. We get so many things from forest that forests are rightly known as green gold. Trees provide shade to tired travelers and animals and shelter to innumerable birds and insects. It provides shelter, wood, jute, raw material for the industries and providing higher employment. Trees keep the environment clean. They inhale the harmful carbon dioxide and give out oxygen. In this way, they reduce air pollution. Forests retain humidity and attract rains. There would be no rain if there were no trees. Then naturally there would be no rain. Trees check strong current of wind and water and thereby prevent soil erosion. They thus help to preserve soil fertility. They prevent the fury of floods. Roots of trees keep the water below the soil clean and it keeping clean soil also clean. In fact, all our basic necessity, air, water, food, clothing and shelter come directly or indirectly from trees. We thus owe very existence to trees, life on earth would be unthinkable without trees. If we cannot think our life without trees, if there were no trees, there would be no rain and land would turn into an arid desert. As you know, there would no rain, then naturally our land turn into desert. Mankind would perish for want of food, drinking water, fresh air and sufficient humidity. So we should ever remain grateful to trees. To conserve the existing trees should be our prime and urgent duty. Reckless felling of trees and mindless destruction of forest should be made crime punishable with utmost severity. One month, one month of campaign for growing more forest should be organized throughout the country, not just as an annual ritual but as a serious social duty. Scheme of afforestation should be undertaken on a war footing and carried out for the very survival of mankind on this planet. And if we do the observation, then on this planet it is difficult to say. See, clear? So in this way, prepare this particular essay so that you can write in proper way. Clear? So here being the end of this lecture, new point will be taken in new lecture. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye. See you.